All right. Yo, what's up, guys? Good morning, good morning. All right, let me let the Discord know I'm live real quick. Hold on. Add premium members. All right. So first thing I'm looking at here is Boeing. If you guys didn't know already, I've talked about this in the past, but we do have this big monthly fair value gap here that I was looking for Boeing to rebalance, and we are super close to taking to be able to take profits on this. I'm looking for 214.63. That's going to be my first target on Boeing. You can see on the hourly we are pushing really nicely past this internal high. If we do get a retracement down here, we'll probably end up retesting this fair value gap, or at minimum this one. But I would love to see this hit today, so I'm really hoping to see that. Looking at NQ, guys, by the way, I've been super busy, so this is the first time I'm even looking at NQ since last week. So don't be surprised if my analysis is not as good today as it normally is, but just keep a heads up that we're going to go top down anyways just to do it. So you can see here that the daily fair value gap has been rebalanced. We've already seen that on the 29th, and we're about 50%. We didn't even pass 50% of the daily gap. So I do want to ultimately see that at minimum get touched into. But yesterday, I did call this in the Discord. We had a really nice trade. When this 5-minute inverse to the upside, I'm going to delete this purple box so you can see it. But when we got this 5-minute closure, where was it? Hold on, guys. I'm looking at the previous session here. So when we got this 5-minute inversion right here, that was when I signaled the group to enter long, and I said to move your stop to break even at this high / take partials, and then hold the runners up to equal highs. So we were able to book a partial here at this high, and I held my runners up to this equal high. That was beautiful. And now I think we're probably still going to continue up to rebalance more of this 4-hour gap. But there is a possibility that this could be a manipulation leg and that we can go lower from here. Because again, we have this VPR on the 4-hour chart. We've already touched into the daily. We do have equal highs above us, but if we get some kind of a manipulation candle like this and we get a very nice inversion, then I think this could be a move that takes us down towards all this sell side. So I will warn you guys that this could be, I think these are also equal lows that I labeled here. This could be a manipulation day, and we could end up completing this kind of like shorter term sell model here to go lower, sweep this low, and then also rebalance some of the daily gaps, like this gap right here, maybe fill more of this daily fair value gap. There's so many different scenarios that could play out here, but I think this could potentially be a play that brings us down into this leg of price, but we'll have to see what happens, obviously. Let me look at the 1-minute chart here just to see what I'm looking at. So London and Asia were a consolidation. We have come up already today and swept this internal high. Past the 1 standard deviation of the Asia range, not quite at the 2. Yeah, very interesting day. I think we could potentially be manipulating, but let me take a look at some other charts here. Yeah, we're going to be super cautious today, but if we can get, so we already have one pretty nice inversion here. We've already swept buy side on the hourly, so I will label this high here. We have equal highs above, guys, so don't be surprised if we continue higher today, but I do think that this is a potential spot for manipulation. I do like this inversion, but we have 2 in the leg, so I'm not a huge fan when we have 2. I prefer 1. But potentially we could use this inverse to take out midnight opening price and potentially even 8:30. Or sorry, this is not 8:30. This is just the standard deviation of yesterday's range. Okay. And we also have news today, by the way. Today's news happens at 10 o'clock. We have Jolt's job opening, so I am going to be waiting to take a trade until after Jolt's, which happens in 16 minutes, 15 minutes pretty much. Let's take a look at the rest of the market quick. All right, guys, there is my target on Boeing. Boom. For all of you guys who are in the community that have been following this trade, we are almost at official TP. We're just about a few cents away here. 214.63 is where I'm going to be completely out of Boeing. Let's see when this hits. Almost there. So again, for those of you who don't know, we've been accumulating Boeing since the 150s. So my main cost basis was 152 something, and we are pretty much officially out of it now. But the idea behind this trade was that we were going to rebalance this monthly fair value gap. We were super oversold, a lot of bearish sentiment on Boeing, and it's finally pumping here. And there it is, guys. And fully out of Boeing. Congrats to everyone who's in that. Round of applause to all of you who are in that. And yeah, so let's see how the rest of the market's doing here. Bitcoin actually doing decently in the morning. I don't know if Trump said something. Tesla pumping as well. I am going to be looking to sell some covered calls on Tesla if we can get... All right, let me delete this alert on Boeing though. We'll be looking to sell some covered calls on Tesla if we can get into the 370s. And if you're asking why, it's because we do have this monthly fair value gap here on Boeing. That is super important, obviously. We did come up and sweep a daily liquidity level at 367, but I do think this still has room to go higher than that. We just filled this daily gap as well. So don't be surprised if we can move higher from this gap. Also, guys, if you are if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like. If you're on X, I don't know who's here on YouTube, who's here on X. Make sure you like the stream. It helps the algos. All right. Okay, so I'm waiting till 7, obviously, for the news, right? But or 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. Once the news happens, if we can maybe inverse this 1 minute gap, that would be a pretty decent downside trade. Sorry if you guys hear my dog barking. There's people at my house right now, so. Also, there's this new week opening gap here that we could potentially fill into, so just keep that in mind. It also pairs up perfectly with this 4-hour fair value gap right here. So actually we'll label this so you guys can see it on the chart. So yeah, the fact that we created this really nice inversion setup in the morning and it failed tells me we are likely to come up and pump into here. Sorry about that, guys. Can you hear the dog for those of you guys who are in the chat? Okay, so we got just under 10 minutes until news. So I'm just going to basically have to wait for this. We did already sweep another buy side. So we swept hourly, right? We can see hourly buy side has been swept. We're rebalancing more of this hourly gap. We also have that 4 hour again and then the 4 hour up here. So what I'm looking for right now potentially is a downside move. I'd love to see midnight opening price targeted, which is also London. But this, I will be honest, guys, if you look at the London session, this looks like a pretty strong breaker. Low, high, lower, low. Also low, high, internal high, lower, low. So there's like two breakers that formed here, plus a fair value gap. That's a very strong bullish bullish play, which tells me we're probably going to continue higher here to the second standard deviation of the Asia range, but we'll have to just see how the market plays out here. There's another 1 minute inversion forming here after sweeping sell side, but this is a little bit close to me, for me, to the news for me to take this. If you guys want to try this inversion short and you can target this 1 minute gap, maybe this one, you can try it, but I'm not a huge fan, not before news like this. Okay, so it looks like it's playing out without the news even happening, and before we even get the close above, or close below, sorry. Oh. Okay, so again, guys, I'm not going to take this 1 minute inversion because we have news in 9 minutes. That is going to be when the trade happens, most likely. Okay, so we've got 8 minutes left. Draw right now, I'm kind of indifferent on the draw on liquidity. It can either be midnight opening price or this new week opening gap. Whichever one we get an A plus setup to, I'm happy to take. Because right now, I mean, it's kind of 50-50, but I would prefer to see a stronger draw on liquidity, to be honest. But if we get something A plus to either side, I will attempt to look for, I'll do like a smaller size trade on it. But you can see here, guys, hourly buy side has been swept, and then it was swept again with this candle right here. And now we've created another 1 minute inversion gap to the downside. But I need to see how news plays out, so I'm not going to be taking this trade until news comes out in 7 minutes. If a setup comes then, I'll try it. But until then, guys, no. Who else is patiently waiting until after news to take something? Okay, Boeing, guys. Wow. So we are officially out of Boeing here. Again, I told you guys 214.63 was my target. All the way from 152. We were able to take partials here and here at these buy sides, and we held everything up to here. A plus swing trade. I mean, doesn't get better than this. And if you guys know the other swing trade I'm in, you know. And it's on, obviously, in the community, but There's something that has a very similar setup to Boeing, what Boeing looked like a few months ago, and we've been accumulating it. So hopefully we will be rewarded greatly soon. Okay, so no inversion here is holding. Normally when an inversion fails like this, we come up and sweep the next internal buy side. Just a heads up. But again, guys, I'm not taking a trade until after news at 10 o'clock. Okay, we got 4 minutes left, guys. Let's see what happens. Less than 4 minutes. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, this obviously is a very strong inversion. This was an inversion to the downside that failed. This is telling me we are probably going to go up to this high, the new week opening gap, and this 4-hour fair value gap. That comes all the way from back here. Even though it's already been traded into once, a lot of the times they'll retest it. So, and not only that, but we have a new week opening gap there, which I'm not sure why it's not showing up, but you can see it right here. So I'm just labeling it here for you guys, but this looks to be the potential draw now. Three minutes. Let's see what happens. All right, a minute left. Let's see what happens. I still think that the draw is probably going to be higher here, but we have to see how it plays out. No setup yet. But remember what I said, guys. When we have, like, if we get an internal high sweep like this and a 1 minute like a BPR or an inversion gap that fails, a lot of the times, I would say like 80% of the time, we come back and sweep this high. So on this candle here or this candle, that's kind of like a long scalp stop. You can put your stop loss here and your take profit here, and that's normally a really good scalp. Okay, so it's Jolt's job openings. Sometimes this is a market mover, sometimes it's not. So we'll see what happens with it. Okay, so a nice push up here. This is going to be, wherever this wicks is going to be a data high potentially. So we can label that as data high, have as a target, and target the new week opening gap for the second part of the trade. If we end up coming down and sweeping liquidity here, but looks like we're probably going to go up to that new week opening gap. Okay, so what I would need to see to take a trade here is some kind of a trade back, maybe into this 1 minute gap, and then another inversion play. For those of you who don't know, again, my model is the inverse fair value gap. So in order for me to take a trade, I can't just long randomly, which I don't even suggest you do anyways. Even if you believe a draw is higher, guys, do not just randomly long, do not just randomly short if you think a draw is lower. Wait for a model to play out. And right now, there is no model for me. Technically, there is a 1 minute inversion to the upside here. So you can see the fair value gap that formed, and we traded up above it, traded back to it, and that is technically a long setup, but that was not a plus enough for me to take. The fair value gap was too small. There wasn't any major liquidity sweep to the downside. Yeah, so you just have to be super, super patient. As I've said many a times, obviously. All right, so it looks like it's pumping without us, but hopefully we'll get a setup still. Again, it's never too late to get a setup. It's always possible you get something, but we'll have to see when. It looks to me, I mean, if I had to guess, it looks like, again, this new week opening gap is coming. We have some obvious hourly buy side here. That's close to that third standard deviation. Normally, we don't run past 2 or 3 standard deviations on an average day, so just keep that in mind. So we already tapped into that second standard deviation that I talked about earlier in the stream. But yeah, I think a decent target here is going to be, again, this new week opening gap. But we'd have to see some kind of a setup to get there. And right now, I'm not seeing that. So I need to wait basically for more price action. What the hell? Oh. Wait for more price action. Some kind of a liquidity sweep here, a trade down into something, and then another inversion. We also technically have a data low right here, so I'll mark it as a data low because what is a data low, guys? When there is news that forms, so at 10 o'clock we had news. We've already swept the high of that news candle, and the low of the news has not been swept yet. So this is technically a data low. So if we do get like a liquidity sweep here and then a nice inversion, then you can try that to the new week opening gap and that buy side liquidity above. Wow, Tesla's pumping too today. Very nice to see. Did anybody take, I'm curious, did anyone take this Boeing trade with me from the 150s? You guys that are in the Discord know that I took this at 150 something. And we held it all the way up to this monthly gap. Anybody in that trade? I got at least one of the, I don't know how many people, 15 people that are watching this on whatever platform. At least one of you must have taken that trade. I hope. I do want to post that on X, though. Let me see here. Let's quote it. Wow, nobody took it, huh? It's a shame. Shame, shame, shame. I'm going to screenshot Boeing here on, what was the chart that I was on here? This was the monthly chart. Okay, repost. Okay, there's the data low, right? We just swept it. Okay, beautiful. So if we do get an inversion here, this is not a bad play. This is something I would try for sure. And then my target would be that new week opening gap above us. Not the best RR trade, so I'll have to do this smaller size, but definitely a decent play. So guys, I'm going to be waiting. This is my play right now. It's a singular fair value gap. We've swept the data low, quote unquote, and we almost came down and swept this liquidity as well. We came close to it. Hopefully we can sweep it. Then I will be looking for that long setup, and the target will be that new week opening gap above us. All right. So we created perfect equal lows here. Wow. So we just created perfect equal lows to the downside. Not a huge fan of that, unfortunately, because these are a magnet for price. But if this does inverse back to the upside, I will still try this with a much smaller size position, maybe a quarter size position, to target the new week opening gap. But the fact that these equal lows just formed basically doesn't change my thesis, but it lowers conviction because these could easily get swept. But I still think this is the draw, so maybe we can get a short setup after the new week opening gap gets tapped into, unless this just dumps here. But for those of you guys who don't know or don't really trade futures much, equal lows and equal highs, meaning if you look at the H here, this represents the high of the candle. This one reads 21,577. This one obviously reads, sorry, the low of the candle is what we're looking at, my bad. 21,557 and 50 cents. And the low of this one is 21,557 and 50 cents. So they're perfectly equal. These are a magnet for price. So sometimes my model actually is used to target these equal lows. But right now, I'm not looking for them to get hit. I'm looking for this new week opening gap and this hourly buy side liquidity. If you guys are short the market right now or you believe the bias is bearish, this 1 minute fair value gap should be the gap you are using to go short. And then obviously your draw on liquidity is these equal lows and then lower, but personally I still want higher, so I'm waiting for the inversion to play out. Stop to break even at high of day, target new week opening gap. And if you really want to target higher guys and increase your RR, then your target would be that hourly buy side. Okay, so we got just under a minute till this inverses. Let's see if it does. If you want to wait for the 2 or the 3, you can as well. I'm just going to wait for, I'll wait for both. So again, guys, the reason the conviction is lower on this play, again, is because of these equal lows right below us, which are a magnet for price. But I do still think the draw is this new week opening gap. We also have, again, the second and third standard deviation of the Asia range above us. So yeah, I want to see this potentially get hit. That is why my objective is higher here. But I'd like to see the 2 and the 3 close above. Ideally, if the 1 and the 3 close above, I'll be fine with taking that as well. But I'd like to see both close before looking long, before entering the straight long. Okay, pretty decent reaction there. The 3-minute candle closes at 18, so I really need to see the 3-minute close above as well as the 1. Okay, so there's a 1-minute closure above. If you guys want to enter now, you can. I'm going to wait for the 3-minute, which closes in 2 minutes from now. Hopefully it doesn't pump us, but the stop to break even is going to be at this high right here. Stop to break even. And the take profit is going to be the new week opening gap. Okay, 1 minute left. Let's see if we, hopefully we hold in this general area and then we get the pump. But I, again, need to see the 3-minute candle close above the inversion. The 1 minute has already, the 3-minute has not. There's no 5-minute, so the 3-minute is the next thing that I'm looking at. If there's no 5-minute inversion, you want to look at the next highest time frame that has it, and in this case, it's the 3-minute. All right, let's see if we get the closure above. It doesn't look like we're going to here, but you might. We'll see. No close above on the 3. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait another 3 minutes till 21 for this candle. Hopefully it does not just pump without us, but the 2-minute has closed above. The 1-minute has closed above. I need to wait for the 3 as well. Okay, it's pumping without me, which kind of sucks, but if I have to enter this a little bit later and reduce size, I will. But we got 2 minutes left, so hopefully it doesn't just pump without us. Again, there was a 1-minute inversion you could have taken, but I did not to reduce risk. Okay, less than pretty much 1 minute left. Let's see if we can get an entry. Praying we do, but every time this happens, we go up here, it reduces the risk to reward, which means I have to size down on the position. But hopefully we get something good. Hopefully it closes down here. That would be ideal. No! It's closing a little too high for me right now, but that's all right. On the 1 minute, we didn't quite come up and sweep this internal high. Let's see what happens here. Just under 30 seconds, 20 seconds. Doesn't look like we're going to get the close above on the 3, but let's see. All right, I'm in this here, guys. Take profit's going to be the new week opening gap. Stop loss will be a 3-minute close back below. Again, it's going to be not a hard stop. I'm going to need to see a 3-minute closure. So for now, it's here, but if we start to pump down, I'm going to have to move it until the next 3-minute candle. If this internal high gets swept, I will move my stop to break even. So this is going to be this. Sorry, let me delete this line here, and this is now going to be my stop to break even on the trade. And like I told you guys earlier, this is a reduced position size because we have perfect equal lows here. But I do like this drawn liquidity, so that is why I'm entering this trade. Stop to break even once we hit this internal high if we're lucky enough to get it. So again, my stop loss is a 3-minute close back below this fair value gap right here. So next candle closes at 24, so we got just under a minute. So far it's holding. And if this fails, guys, this will be my one trade of the day for sure. But so far we're still good. Stop to break even for me is going to be at this high right here. I'd like to see this also form an order block. That would be ideal. But we will see what happens. Doo-doo-doo. So again, the reason I sized down on this trade, for those of you who are maybe just entering, I don't know who's been watching for a while, who hasn't, but these perfect equal lows are the reason that I sized down on this inversion, because these are often a magnet for price, but I do still believe the draw is higher, so I'm willing to take this, again, with smaller size. Stop loss is a 3-minute close back below this inversion. Okay, nice movement from the low of the inversion, which I like to see. I want to see a big green candle here to create an order block to go higher. I do like that reaction on the 1 minute. That is great to see. Again, if this high gets swept, I will be moving my stop to break even. Doo-doo. Target is going to be that new week opening gap above. If you guys are really risk averse, if this high gets swept, you can move your stop to break even, but I'm going to wait until this internal high gets swept. It's a very small size position for me, so I'm willing to risk it. Okay, beautiful so far. So if you are a risk averse, guys, that is where you move your stop to break even at that high. I have a small position, so it doesn't matter to me. This is going to be my stop to break even right here. Can easily consolidate for the remainder of the morning session until this macro time, and then we get the long. Who knows? Okay, very nice move so far. Also, if we get really close to this high, I'll probably move the stop. So like if we get into the like 90th percentile of this wick, like right over here, I'll probably move the stop to break even right before it sweeps, just in case we have a manipulation where we come really close and then we dump it. Charlie, good morning, sir. Good morning, good morning. Guys, if you're watching the stream, make sure you like it. It helps a lot. It helps the algorithms push it further. There's like 15 people watching this throughout all the different platforms. And on YouTube, I see only 3 likes. Come on, y'all. Okay, so again, if we get into like the 90th, 80th percentile of this wick, that is where I'm moving my stop to break even. And the target, again, is going to be up here at that new week opening gap. Glenn, hey man, I don't know if I like it yet. LMAO, I haven't seen you streaming in forever. I stream almost every single day. Maybe the algos cut me off, bro. But almost every single day I've been live streaming. Yeah, algo did me dirty, I'm sure. Okay, very nice push there. Another internal high sweep here. I think maybe this is a spot to move your stop to break even. I'm gonna wait until that 80th percentile touch though. So again, I want like just more of this wick to get filled. Theoretically, again, this is wicks act as gaps if you guys didn't know. So technically the 50% of the gap is somewhere where we reject from, which you can see we came close and we're rejecting now. But again, I'd want to see this upper quadrant of this wick get filled before I move my stop to break even. When's the last time you saw me stream, Glenn? Just out of curiosity. 2+ weeks a month ago? Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the algos. I've been posting, I used to post a lot of YouTube shorts, like every other day I would post a short. I think that really helped the algorithms. I'm going to try doing that from now on so that it pushes my content more. But yeah, since I stopped posting as many shorts, it's definitely slowed down. Followers, subscribers, blah, 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 views. Okay, so the 3-minute is still holding, guys. If we get a 3-minute close below, I will be stopping out this trade. But I do like the fact that an order block formed here. I just don't like that we're getting full-bodied closes below. We haven't gotten it yet on the 3-minute, but this next candle is going to be important, obviously. Okay, so we got just under, what is this? Okay, so there's another 3-minute candle close, still holding this order block, which I like to see. But I'm going to keep a hard stop here now that this is traded up close to the mean threshold of that 1-minute wick. Because if this is going to fail, it's just going to dump us, and I'm just going to probably target these equal lows. So this is going to be a hard stop for me, guys. Swept another set of liquidity here. Hopefully that's the lows, but I wanted to at least see the mean threshold of this wick get hit, but it is what it is. Technically, guys, if you want to increase your risk a little bit more, there is a 1-minute inversion here, which the low is right here on this candle. So technically you could move your stop a little bit lower here if you'd like. But yeah, it's probably not going to work. We'll see. So again, if you guys want to move your stop slightly lower to this 1-minute gap right here, or if you want to move the inversion down, if you have more money to risk on this trade, I am personally going to, I guess I can leave it a little bit lower. Just underneath it, because it's a smaller size position, but Theoretically, that should be the low if it's going to be the low, and then it'll go higher, but no. So there is a stop loss on that trade. The reason I sized down, again, guys, for those of you guys who are just watching, is because there were perfect equal lows here. So could this still go higher? Sure. I wanted to see the mean threshold of that 1 minute wick get hit. It came very close and missed it, but it is what it is. All right. So yeah, technically the 3 minute is it hasn't closed below yet. So I kept a hard stop because of these equal lows. If this ends up pumping here, so be it. But if the 3 minute closes below, likely it's going to fail and we'll target these equal lows. But this was my one trade of the day. Normally, also, I mean, if you guys are wondering why I had a hard stop, again, because of these equal lows, normally I wouldn't put a hard stop here on a 3 minute inversion. Oh, that was a 1 minute, sorry. The 3 minute did close below, guys, so I would have closed this out regardless. But you can see here, right there, that was the closure below. If this ends up working, holding the 1 minute, so be it. But for me, because I entered on the 3 minute candle, I have to close it under the 3 minute. Hope that makes sense. Man, that is so unfortunate. You see how it came right down to that 1 minute fair value gap and just below it to stop people out, and then it goes higher? But we'll see if it does continue here. How's ES doing? Okay, ES is actually performing, it looks like maybe a little bit stronger than NQ. About the same. They're both trading into that 4-hour BPR. Anywhere from here, we can see rejections too. So be cautious because the higher time frames, this can easily be a rejection zone on the 4-hour. On the hourly, again, I still want to see this internal high get swept and the new week opening gap get traded into, but unfortunately my setup did not play out. So, but now it seems to be, so it stopped me out of the trade and now it's going to go. If I was still in this somehow, if I didn't get stopped out, I would be moving my stop to break even once that internal high got swept right there. So another thing I want to point out, a lot of people, if they take a loss like that, it's very difficult for them to be able to sit and watch the market reverse on you. If you are not able to take a loss and see the market come back up to where you were at, you will probably never be profitable, because the reality is you have to be able to take a trade, execute, and be done. And when this happens, if you re-enter here, for example, and then it ends up failing again and targeting the equal lows, you're going to be upset. This is how you go on tilt. If you take a loss, you re-enter here when your real entry was, I mean, your entry was here anyways, but re-entering in the same spot, they're getting stopped out again, then going on tilt when these equal lows hit, and then trying to short, like, you're just going to get destroyed. So the lesson that I think most people could learn from this type of situation is to know when to be done taking trades. For you guys who have been watching for a long time, you know I typically take one, maybe two. And as I told you, this was a smaller size position, a quarter size, because of these equal lows. If you want to go back and rewind to see where my explanation was about it, you can. But yeah. So I still have room for another trade today because it was only a quarter size position, but it needs to be far more A+. For example, I would prefer to see these equal lows get swept now and then an A+ inversion to go up. I will not enter on the same leg of price. All right, let's go. 6 people watching on YouTube and 7 likes. I love to see it. And however many people on X. Appreciate that, guys. Oh, Bitcoin's back at 106. Let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick on the hourly, or maybe even the 4-hour. So, in my view, I'm not 100% convinced that this is going to continue up here. We did trade into this bullish 4-hour gap, and we held. I don't see any A+ inversions here. Excuse me. We do have a lot of low resistance liquidity built here. So you can see all these lows here on Bitcoin, 1, 2, 3. I think it's very likely that we're going to come back at some point and go back below 100,000. The reason being, not only is there low resistance liquidity here, but there's also a weekly fair value gap on Bitcoin. So you can see it right there. If this ends up failing, I'm not going to exit my Bitcoin position, but I'll reduce size on it, because this inversion is very likely to hit and we're probably going to go lower. But for the majority of my Bitcoin, I'm going to be holding it for the long term, but I will reduce if we do inverse this weekly fair value gap, personally. Okay, so I'm not, again, if you were to lose this trade like I did, re-enter this, and then this ends up failing, you're going to go on tilt. That's the way that the market works, and that's the way the human brain works for most people. So hopefully you didn't re-enter this trade. You should wait for the next leg of price. In this case, this liquidity here is what I would wait for as the next leg of price. Okay, so ES interestingly didn't the equal lows that NQ did. What time did this form? 10:08. So ES was able to sweep a lot more liquidity here. Did this also form perfect equal lows? No. So ES was able to sweep more liquidity here, which tells me, I mean, this is going to be stronger on ES most likely, but NQ still has the ability to go higher here. Again, I'm not going to chase price. I'm not going to re-enter, but the thesis behind the trade was this 3-minute inversion. Unfortunately, the 3-minute closed below and stopped me out, but the 1-minute never closed below. So technically, like I said in the stream, you could have held below this. I kept a hard stop because of these equal lows. If these were not here, I would not have kept a hard stop. I hope that makes sense. You can type 1 if that makes sense, type 2 if it does not. Charlie says 1. Good, good, good. Okay, so there's the mean threshold of that 1-minute wick that I was looking for to move my stop to break even, but it is what it is. So if you are still in this trade, if you held like a degenerate, that is your stop to break even right there. Hold up to this internal high. You can partial here if you want and hold the rest up to the new week opening gap. And that is so unfortunate, guys. Literally stopped out by just a few ticks, but it is what it is. Okay, so there's your stop to break even officially. Okay, that was where I would have moved my stop to break even if I was in from down here. I would partial at this high if I were you, and I would hold the rest up to the new week opening gap. Again, not financial advice. Do what you want. Trade how you want. Wow, it's so bright in here. And the next draw, in my opinion here, I mean, again, your entry was down here. If you didn't get stopped out, your stop to break even for sure should be here. Partial here. Hold runners to this high and the new week opening gap. I think this target is next. But again, if I was still in the trade here, it doesn't matter whether I'm right or wrong because my stop is at break even. Even if I have a thesis this is coming, which I do, my stop is at break even. It was a free trade. It would be a free trade, sorry. Also, one thing to note, we are in a macro time right now. So the 1050 to 1110 macro time, for those of you who don't have these on your charts, they're super, in my view, they're super important. Not every ICT trader uses them, but they are normally a part, like an area or a time in the markets where the market tends to move. Charlie, we'll catch you tomorrow. I have to till the yard to plant centipedes before it's too late. Centipedes? You're planting centipedes? What does that mean? But regardless, Charlie, I wish you the best, and I will see you tomorrow, sir. So we're in a macro time. Like I said, normally this is where the market moves. It's also the close of the hourly candle. That's, in my opinion, why it moves most likely. But if we have a draw on liquidity, it oftentimes hits in the macro time. So if you want this on your charts, next macros by Cognito. You can screenshot that if you want. Very big push up here. I think this new week opening gap is coming now. But we will see. Such an unfortunate series of events, though. Takes me right out of the trade, and then it goes. Oh, centipede grass. Ah, I see, Charlie. Got you, sir. Well, best of luck, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, so this is where I want to see a pump here to the new week opening gap. Keep in mind, guys, we have already pushed past the 2 and the 3 standard deviation of the Asia range. I don't know why it's not showing up right now. It's loading. There we go. So we are past the 2nd standard deviation, so I'll keep that on my charts marked. But I think that if it's going to come down, it's going to use that as support to draw up to that new week opening gap. Is anybody still in this trade, by the way, that's in the chat? Anyone still targeting that new week opening gap? Like I said, guys, the macro time is what moves the markets normally. And you can see right as the macro time begins, we have a big green candle that pumps us up here. Is it just all NPCs in here apart from Charlie and Glenn? Nobody took this trade? Or nobody's in a trade targeting the new week opening gap? Do any of you guys even trade ICT? Hello, anyone alive? So we could easily trade back into this 1 minute fair value gap here before going higher, but I think this new week opening gap is still the draw. And then after that, obviously that hourly buy side I was talking about earlier, that's the next draw to me. Okay, nice pump here. Let's see if we can get that new week opening gap. Almost. Not quite there, but almost. And boom, there it is. All right, so that is the main draw for me. Anything else that we get here is going to be free money, I guess you could say, or like if you were in this trade, it would be free runners, and the target would be that hourly buy side. So anything else here is just like extra icing on the cake. Your main draw on liquidity should be here, in my opinion, today. Another thing to note, if you're trying to long here, we're past the second standard deviation of the Asia range, so everything past the first, honestly, is normally you're adding increased risk with every standard deviation. You're trading along past that first standard deviation. So it's the highest risk, obviously, at the 4 standard deviation. This is normally where we reverse, but we normally reverse between the 2 and the 3. So we rarely go past the 3 and the 4 in one day. If we do, there's extremely bullish sentiment or something else. Also, there's another draw on liquidity here, this 4-hour fair value gap and perfect equal highs. So this is also a strong draw for those of you guys who are looking for a higher draw on liquidity. Again, you'd need a setup to get here, but these two are also draws. The hourly buy side and the equal highs and that 4-hour gap, which forms at the same place where those perfect equal highs form on the 1 minute chart. So we will see if this continues today. That is so unfortunate that we got stopped out here. If you guys want to try some kind of a long trade, like a 1-for-1 from here, be my guest. I would never do this, but we do have those equal highs. I mean, the buy side here. If you want to try this, a 79-point trade today, could it hit? Possibly. Is it going to? Likely. Probably not. But if we do end up getting a buy day today on a Tuesday, then this could easily come up to here. So up to you guys what you decide to do. I am done for the day. I'm not going to be trading again unless something miraculous happens. If we end up coming down and sweeping these equal lows and then getting an A+ setup, possibly, but that seems unlikely to me now. Did anyone take the 1-for-1 scalp for the non-NPCs, the people that are not bots that are in this chat? Oh my god. MT took the 1-for-1. All right, I would, guys, if you're in the 1-for-1 here, you should be very quick to move your stop to break even. Basically, what you're hoping for is that we just get like very small consolidation and we don't sweep additional lows. So where's my path tool? So you're basically hoping for an entry here, and then you're basically looking for this. You want to see the market do this. If it doesn't do that, you're going to get smoked, because what'll often happen is we'll come down, rebalance more gaps, and then go higher. Like, you don't want to be stuck in a long swing like this. After it moves in your direction, you should be moving your stop quickly. Because a majority of the move has been made today. We had that breaker in the London session, and there's like a buy model forming here. This was the real trade. Again, unfortunately, I got stopped out by just a few wicks. Sucks that happened, but it is what it is. Oh, let's go, MT. Glad to hear it, bro. You're on YouTube, MT? Because I know there's people on X that watch. I can see there's 16 people in here, but only 4 on YouTube, 12 on X. But yeah, basically when you enter, if you're trying to do like a 1-for-1 swing, you should just move your stops very quickly to increase the RR on your trade. Because if you're entering on this long leg of price, you want to see the market just consolidate and go higher, but very small. Awesome, MT. That in itself, I don't care how many people are in here. That in itself makes me motivated enough to continue. If one person understands my analysis or learns from it, that makes my day. So I appreciate you being here, brother, and I think you're a brother, but I hope that you find success. Yeah, for sure. I'm not in YouTube. I will follow your ex. Oh, you're not on YouTube? Because for me, when you chat, it says YouTube. But yeah, if you guys want to follow me on X, it's the same exact. Yeah, it's the same exact username. I'll actually post it in the chat real quick for you guys. I don't know if that's still active, honestly. Actually, maybe. Hold on. No. Wait. Give me a second to post this. So it's actually. Can I go on YouTube on this computer? Hold on one sec. It's x.com/Castle Capital, not Twitter. Yeah, so unfortunately, guys, if you were in that long, you would be stopped to break even here for sure. But this 1 minute fair value gap ideally is where you would look to long. If this ends up failing, this could actually be a pretty decent short. But obviously we have buy side right above us, so that's kind of tough to take. You'd want to see that liquidity get swept. So what I'm hoping for here is that this is a continuation play, and this 1 minute fair value gap drives us higher. But if this closes below, guys, for sure, if you're in a long, you should be cutting your trade. If you didn't get stopped for a break even on this up move, if this closes below, I would stop. I would exit the trade immediately. Because remember, guys, if you are entering a long position or even a short, whatever it is, you want to see if you're in a long position, you want to see bullish PD arrays be used to go higher. If they start closing below, you know that this is probably invalidated and that we're going to go on a stop loss hunt to target people's stop losses, which is this low, potentially even this low, and the equal lows. So you can see there's a bullish 2 minute, there's a bullish 3 minute, a bullish 5 minute fair value gap. So all of these are bullish PD arrays that I would expect to be used to drive price higher. If we start closing below on the 5 minute especially, I mean, definitely be out of it. But even on the 1 minute, you'd want to see this hold to go higher. Wow, Tesla's up nicely, up to 350. Ugh. Okay, so a tiny 1 minute inversion here to the upside. Would I take this? Absolutely not. Is it probably going to work based on this bullish reaction? Probably. But again, very high risk trade here. If you're going to do this, enter this with micros. 1 micro and hold it up to that buy side liquidity. So you can see the inversion there. If it closes above, you enter with 1 micro, stop the break even here, and hold it up to the buy side here. Should we do this for fun on paper, not on a real account? What the heck? Wait 1 second, guys. Okay, I just posted the X link. At least I should have. There we go. X.com/castle capital. If you guys haven't followed me there, that's the best place. I think the lag is better on X too. YouTube has a little bit of a lag when you watch the live streams. X doesn't, so. But yeah, if you guys want to enter with 1 micro on this inversion, we're reacting from a bullish fair value gap, and we're potentially inversing. That's your stop to break even, and that's your target. And the target again is the hourly buy side within a new week opening gap, right below that 3rd standard deviation of price. Again, very high risk trade. We're already very high in premium, but if you want to take this with a micro, be my guest. Only if we get a body close above the fair value gap. And then again, your target would be here, and then you could even hold runners to the equal highs if you guys want, but just keep in mind, on the higher time frame, we are trading up into this 4-hour fair value gap. This is a very strong BPR, balanced price range. Typically, we reject from these zones, so do not take this with big size if you're going to take it. Please. Do yourself a favor. You have to... Another reason a lot of people are not profitable is because they size up. They think, oh wow, the market is going up here. It's only going to go higher. I might as well just keep longing. But what they don't realize is that we are in heavy premium in a very bearish BPR right now. So we could easily reject from here and destroy everybody. Could we easily go up? Sure. But you need to know when to be managing risk, when to be entering with strong size, when not to be. If this was any other day and there were not perfect equal lows here, again, I never would have stopped out of this position until the 1 minute close below, most likely. And I wouldn't have had a hard stop. I would have waited for a closure below. So yeah. But in this case, I got stopped out. And because we have these equal lows here, do not be surprised if we end up failing these fair value gaps and we end up going lower here. This could be the start of an intraday sell model to target this liquidity and this liquidity. Oh, my doggy's here. Hold on 1 second. Let me put her up here. Lulu, you want to say hi to the stream? Look at this thing. Say hi, Lulu. Oh, Lulu. She's a mini schnauzer, for those of you guys who know what mini schnauzers are. Very sweet dog, but she likes to bark. Sorry. Okay. What the heck? Sorry guys, that completely threw my my AI tracking camera off. It was out of whack. Very cute doggy. All right. Okay, so this 1 minute inverses, again, you can try this with a micro if you want, but I don't recommend it personally. My main emphasis on this channel is to try and teach discipline. This is not a disciplined 1 minute inversion. Could it easily work? Yes. But is it A+? No. And if you're going to take it, you have to size down. Believe me. Okay, so we're just waiting for the inversion here. Hold on. Okay, so to me, I'm not going to lie, this does not look promising. The fact that we're rejecting this 1 minute fair value gap here, if we end up closing below this on the 1 minute, guys, this is actually not a bad short. And your target would be, honestly, your target would be, I would move my stop to break even here. And my target would be this low and the equal lows. Personally, I think that today is likely to continue up to this hourly buy side if I had to guess, but yeah, if we end up getting a 2, 3, and a 5 minute close below this fair value gap, guys, it's game over. In my opinion, I think this is going to dump. Because we've already touched into the new week opening gap. Yes, we could easily come up here today, but until this closes above, guys, there's no way that you should be taking longs here. I will, if this ends up inversing to the downside on the 5 minute, guys, I will take another short. One more trade, half size, and I'll target, this is going to be my stop to break even, this 5 minute gap, and then I'll hold it all the way down to the equal lows. But in my opinion, this looks like it's going to inverse, so I'll try this on paper only to this buy side liquidity if this inverses to the upside. Okay, so strong reaction there. If you're in this, again, your stop to break even is this high, and you'd hold it up to buy side. I'll take this on paper only. I'll get in early for you guys for fun. But this is going to be the TP right here. Again, I would never take this with a real account with size. I'm not even taking it on fund. I'm not even taking this on a funded with a micro. I'm taking this on paper only just to show you guys if it works or not. No way I'd be taking this on a live account. Very silly trade, in my opinion. You basically are praying now that this big green candle holds and this just pumps here. Stop to break even at that high, obviously, if you're going to take this. But only a micro, and I'm not taking this on a real account. Hell no. Very, very, very poor risk management. Everyone understands it's not on a live account, right? Everyone understands I would never take this on a real account. Please, 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 please let me know. If you're just entering, if you're just joining the stream now, this is not a real trade. No way in hell. Again, if you're in this, stop to break even here. Okay, so that's an immediate stop to break even. And now you basically have to pray that this is going to be a big manipulation move higher here. And if you want, honestly, guys, if I were you, so what they do sometimes, the market makers, they'll bring the candle very close to the buy side and then they'll reject it. So if I were you, I would maybe take my profits somewhere around here, around that 21,690.75, if you're lucky enough to get it. Don't wait for the whole buy side to get swept. A lot of the times they'll bring it really close and then they'll reject the market. So just a heads up. But definitely have your stop to break even, guys. If you entered on this candle here, like I did, please have your stop to break even. Because if this fails and this inverses to the downside, we're going to get destroyed. And this is actually a pretty good short. If it was me, I'm not going to lie, I think this is great. Because there's a clear stop to break even, which for me would be right here at this low. If you're going to enter a short, this is your stop to break even. And yeah, I would hold this down. I would just hold like this. This would be my TP1 right here on this trade. TP2 would be probably this low. And then I would hold runners all the way down to, honestly, I would hold my runners all the way down to the equal lows and hopefully make this a really big trade. And let's just say now this green candle closes above this high, and this creates a 1 minute order block. I would move my stop to break even right below the order block so that at least I'm booking profits on the trade, even if it goes against me. Wow, did anyone hear my stomach rumble just now? I don't know if my mic picked that up. Okay, so if this green candle, the body closes up here, that's another opportunity to move your stop below the order block. But if this high gets hit especially, move your stop below the order block. Okay, I'm just going to do it now. But yeah, basically just want to see this run here. If it's not going to run, it is what it is. Hold on 1 second, guys. Bro! I've been talking for freaking 15 minutes. Nobody told me that. I can't believe it. That means nobody's watching the stream. All right, so what I was saying, for those of you guys who were just watching me literally talk to myself for the last 15 minutes, this bearish or this bullish one minute gap is holding up price right now, and it's probably going to be what's used to deliver us up to buy side here. If it fails, I think we're going to come down and sweep these lows, and that's going to be a good short. I know, the PA is really, really, really slow. A naughty leaf. What a name, bro. That's hilarious. So you guys can see there's another little tiny 1 minute inversion here that could fail. But I think that this is probably just going to end up going up to buy side here on the hourly, and then maybe we can look for a short from there. We'll see. But I really wanted to see this close below. The fact that we got a bullish reaction from this one tells me this is likely to hit now. Okay, let's see if we get the if we hit the buy side on the hourly. So I'm hoping for. And then we can look for a short, ideally if it hits. Naughty Leaf. What's up with that username? Where did you come up with that? If you're still listening, I'm curious. All right, so this 1 minute fair value gap needs to hold here if the bulls want to see this cleanly deliver up now. Hopefully it does, for your sake. I just like being blown around. What does that mean? You like your P&L to be blown around from negative to positive to negative to positive? That's hilarious. All right, so let's see what happens here. We're entering another macro time as well, so just keep that in mind. But if this inverses to the downside and we get two big down close candles here, it could all be cooked for longs. Oh. This looks really good for shorts. We're inversing the 3, the 2, and the 1. Is there a 5 as well? There is a 5-minute that just inversed the downside too. Wow, this looks so good. I hate how these TPs are all in my way. So pretty much what I'm looking at right now, I mean the 1 minute has closed below, but we already hit the stop to break even. If this 5-minute closes to the downside, I'm gonna go short. That's what I think is gonna. Ideally, if we're gonna get the structure break here, it's gonna happen here. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm not too convinced on this buy side yet. I don't think there was an SMT either with ES, was there? Okay, ES behaving very differently to NQ. Super interesting. I really want to take this short. The only thing, because there's no obvious SMT, we have that hourly buy side. I'd like to see it get swept, ideally, before looking for the short here. So you guys can see the 3-minute fair value gap to the downside. The bullish fair value gap was inverse on this candle. Basically, I want to see this 1-minute reject and close below here. I think that's another opportunity to go short. But if this inverses to the upside, we're going to sweep that buy side first before going down. Just remember, guys, always focus on the high time frame liquidity first. Right now, this wick right here is pretty obvious to me as a level of liquidity. So I do want to short the market here. It looks promising, but I also don't want to get caught in a reversal. So I'd realistically rather see this get inversed. I mean, this get swept first before looking for the short. So I'm just really paying attention to see what happens with this 1 minute bearish fair value gap. If we close above it, I think we're going to that buy side. No close above so far though. We also we inversed a 5 minute to the downside. We inversed a 3 minute to the downside. We inversed a 2 minute to the downside. And we inversed a 1. But we already swept this low, so I'm a little bit cautious about this. I think this high is probably going to come first. So this is actually a pretty decent looking long up to buy side. And there's the 1 minute close above. So this should actually just pump up here. If I was a betting man, again, if you're going to long this, do it with a micro, make it super small, but we inverse the 1 minute. So this should hit buy side and then go up to that hourly. So if you're looking for that long setup, this is it. Very tight stops with a micro. I would not take this with more size than that. Stop to break even when the high hits and target that hourly buy side. Again, super high risk play. Just letting you know, but it's probably going to work. Okay, so your stop to break even will go at that internal high, obviously. But I think that hourly buy side is the target now. So that's the stop to break even, or you can partial there, whatever you want. But again, you should be only taking this with micros if you're in it. This is super high risk. Super high risk. Okay, so there's the stop to break even pretty much. I would have it out here. Like there's no reason to, like, if this order block doesn't work, then this is just going to collapse. So definitely have your stop to break even here, guys, and your target is, I would not even put it, I would put it either at the hourly buy side or just below it. But so far it's working, so you either be out now or take your profits just before that hourly buy side. But I would definitely have your stop to break even here because we've already swept both of the highs of day. So if they're going to chop this around and stop people out, you don't want to be part of that, guys. So if you're in from here, wherever, from the inversion, which was on this candle right here, actually from this candle right here, stop should be to break even. I would be out already or out right over here. If you want to hold the buy side, be my guest, but sometimes they'll bring it really close and they'll reject the market. So like right here, I would be out for sure. Personally, if I was in this with micros, I am not. Everyone saw the play. Whoops. 1 minute fair value gap. There was a tiny liquidity sweep right here. And they target, and then after the liquidity sweep, they inversed it on this candle. And then I said, you should be taking your partials at the two highs of day and right before the hourly buy side in case they reject the market right before hitting it, which they can easily do. So let's say we end up coming really close to the hourly buy side and we inverse the 3 minute or even the 5 minute if you guys prefer, but the 3 minute looks really good to me. If we come super close like this and then we close below the 3 minute gap, this is a very good short in my opinion. Stop to break even is obvious, which is right here. And then you could honestly target quite a bit lower, but realistically I would look at the 50% of this leg. So I'm actually going to delete these so you don't get confused. If you draw a 50% retracement from low to high, it comes out to right here. So this is where I put my TP realistically. And then you could hold runners down to the equal lows if we end up getting a full-blown reversal today, which is possible but doubtful. But this is this is a 4-to-1 trade. This is a 14-to-1 trade, which is ridiculous RR. But only if we come really close to the hourly buy side and don't hit it. Because I've seen this happen time and time again where they bring the market really close to an obvious draw of liquidity and then they reject it. So what I would be paying attention to here is this 3 minute bullish fair value gap. If this fails, that's the entry. But also if they sweep this hourly buy side and it happens, either way, if we come close to the hourly buy side or we sweep it, both of those are good enough for me to try this trade. Okay, again, super close to that hourly buy side without touching it. So I hope everybody took profits before that high. Hope you did. Because I've seen this happen time and time again where they bring it super close, then they'll reject the market. Okay, guys, once this buy side hits, I think I'm gonna call it a day. I've been live for almost 3 hours now. Um, but yeah, I think that was a pretty decent structured day. Unfortunately, again, like I said, this was my play. I got stopped out by just a few ticks. Ended up getting to the draw that I wanted. My full TP would have been taken at this new week opening gap, and then these equal highs would have been runners. So I still think it's possible that both of these hit today. If I see anything A+, I will call it in the Discord. If you guys want to join, obviously there's a link in the description to trade live with me on the best days. Personally, I think this week, Friday and Thursday are likely to be the best days. Actually, no, I would say probably Friday is going to be best. It's NFP Friday. Today was pretty good. But yeah, I'm going to be trading Friday on Discord and probably Thursday as well. We'll see. But I wish you guys the best, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right.